fascist!
That right there is Australian tax dollars hard at work, arresting, beating up, and throwing people in jail cells where they are not social distancing, all for the crime of not social distancing and expressing an opinion that the government doesn't like. So yeah, what do you call that? The new normal. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Luke Radowski of WeAreChange.org. Crazy, insane footage happening right now all across Australia, as of course there are major protests happening right now against a lot of the strict and extensive measures that were taken by the Australian government in 2020 that are continuing to expand. No surprise there, as of course that's how government works, and we welcome you to our new segment called It's All a Lie. And most of the things that the mainstream media tries to regurgitate to you is exactly that, as perfectly exemplified by the first-month presidency of Joe Biden that promised you $2,000 one time and gave you lucrative no-bid military-industrial complexes that benefits companies like Raytheon to the tune of billions of dollars. Drone strikes in Somalia have escalated. There's a new military base in Syria. Thousands of troops are being sent to Yemen, Syria, and Iraq. The World Health Organization is being bankrolled again to push Chinese talking points. And I think it's very fair to say that the $2,000 that Joe Biden promised you wasn't really a priority to him. And with the international security state bolstering up its coffers, so of course is the domestic security agencies like the FBI that according to many are now treating members of Congress as suspects in the January 6th events that unfolded at the U.S. Capitol. As we're finding out that lawmakers, anyone in attendance, anyone nearby, anyone working in the vicinity of the U.S. Capitol on that day had their phone records seized by the Federal Bureau of Investigations, which brings up some legitimate concerns surrounding our elected officials and the information that the security state is allowed to have on them. Because if you have thousands of phone and electronic records of Congress members by a security state agency that's known to play politics, you of course have a situation that there should be a lot of concern over. And there's not. There's really only The Intercept and the Daily Mail talking about this larger concern and issue, which should be worrying for a lot of people, especially understanding how thuggish government officials act when they get a little bit of power, as perfectly exemplified by New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, who faces numerous allegations of abuse, cover-ups, and gangster-like behavior, specifically threatening people, bullying them if they dare question or even critique him. Today, a former aide is even joining many other politicians, many other journalists who were previously mistreated by Andrew Cuomo, and came out today specifically talking about very serious, inappropriate activities by the governor, which, if he is found guilty of, could land him in jail. Now, of course, this is not a surprise to many today, as of course Andrew Cuomo is known for harassing a lot of individuals around him. And with many representatives calling for impeachment, calling for him to step down, it looks like his political career luckily is unraveling. It should be, because everything this man stood for from the very beginning has been an absolute lie, which is exactly what the establishment likes and promotes, since of course he also got a very lucrative book deal and even won an Emmy for what we have learned to be absolutely criminal activity that has led to the lives of thousands of people being ended abruptly because of his leadership. Now, as you know from watching this channel, and I personally know for over 15 years being an independent reporter, when you call out a lot of these lies before many people understand them, you face the chop and block of online internet censorship, whose scope, of course, is widening right now as we're finding out from Reuters that Twitter just removed accounts that are, quote, amplifying narratives that undermine the faith in NATO. So now, yes, if you question one of the biggest donors to the military-industrial complex, you are facing the chopping block if you criticize a governmental military institution that is supposed to be serving its people and protecting its people. Must be the new normal going around everywhere, which shouldn't surprise you. And it's not just critique of American foreign policy that has been heavily censored. We are also learning that an 81-year-old widow has been warned by Facebook to stop posting her knitted pigs because they are not approved speech that will be taken down. People like Brendan Herrera have had their videos taken down and given a strike because they were talking about historical weaponry. And as anyone not a part of the in club, not a part of the establishment, not a part of the mainstream media prostitute larger institution, we of course get the chop and block as the mainstream media gets promoted, pushed by the algorithm, and of course always recommended to you no matter what. Elon Musk had a very interesting comment to one of these institutions, the Washington Post, which is also connected to intelligence agencies and individuals like Jeff Bezos, who replied from an official interview request by the Washington Post saying, quote, "Give my regards to your puppet master." So, I think it's fair to say that people are catching on to the bigger lies that are being perpetrated out there by the larger establishment societies and institutions. And to safeguard yourself from any censorship and blocking of content, you should definitely get a VPN. This is where I plug one of the companies that I've been working with, that I personally use, that I personally like, that has a 30-day money-back guarantee. And if you use, and if you like, and if you click the link in the description down below right now, you also in part support this independent media organization. I really like VPNs. You could essentially travel the world through the internet. They give you an extra layer of privacy and security. I couldn't recommend it enough for people. VPN City is one of those companies that gives you unrestricted access worldwide to information no matter who blocks it. This definitely would have came in handy yesterday as one of our videos was blocked temporarily in some countries, which you could have circumvented if you had a VPN. So yeah, definitely check out VPN City down in the description below to safeguard yourself and the future of the free internet. Now, continuing on with our broadcast, something very interesting is going on right now that many mainstream media institutions are reluctantly bringing up, and that is the fact that from the sickness last year, the cases are dramatically going down right now, as even some cities like Los Angeles are reporting numbers have dropped over 90% since the height of cases during the winter. This is a huge anomaly that many experts don't even understand and can't explain, since even CNN said that this is not due because of the shot, but something else is happening that they can't understand or comprehend right now. Not only are cases down in the United States, they are also down globally, and as we've been reporting to you for a number of weeks now, are continuing to go down, ever since, of course, the inauguration of President Biden. And now, according to a Johns Hopkins doctor who wrote an op-ed for the Wall Street Journal on Friday, said that this entire sickness will be mostly gone in just 2 months from now. And with the way that the numbers are declining, this estimate, this prediction, could be true, as of course this medical doctor argues that most people in the country already are protected from this sickness, as of course many people allegedly had it and had mild or no symptoms, and that this number of individuals who were affected this way is a lot higher than a lot of medical professionals even were able to calculate, and because of that, he has a trajectory that this sickness will be mostly over very soon and that people will be able to return to normal life. Also, very interestingly, in the United Kingdom, there has not been a single case of the flu this entire year, which is something that the Independent is reporting from, of course, the official statistics from public health officials in England. Yes, surprisingly, there's a new historic low and not a single case of the influenza that has been detected in the United Kingdom this year. The Independent is also reporting that the Deputy Chief Medical Officer of the United Kingdom is saying that people may not have to wear masks this summer in the United Kingdom, as of course many people still question its efficacy, especially in schools, especially amongst children who have an extremely low risk, with even the Telegraph coming out today and officially having an article saying, quote, "Masks in schools is utterly nonsensical. where's the evidence for it? Asking, of course, a key critical question that many people in independent media have been asking and have been getting censored because of. But now, today, the Telegraph is officially releasing their stance on the issue, and I think a demand for more accountability, more evidence is definitely needed throughout all of this. Well, that all sounds like incredible news. When you look at the larger context of all of this happening, this is great, right? Well, not according to Dr. Fauci, who, of course, is the chief medical advisor to President Biden, has contradicted himself many times throughout this entire saga, who announced today that he still will not be personally indoor dining. He is restricting visitors to his own home, and he only visits the grocery store during off-peak hours, even though he received 2 doses of the shot, which has a lot of people wondering and pondering. Didn't Fauci, along with all the other medical professionals and mainstream media journalists and establishment government figures, tell us that if you take the shot, everything will go back to normal? Well, Fauci is saying no. He's still taking extreme precautions, as we could see here, and he's urging other people to do the same. Also, in the United Kingdom, we are getting news that this shot won't eliminate this sickness or even the risk of this sickness, according to, of course, the Wall Street Journal, that talks about a new UK government study that says that the sickness will continue to take a heavy toll even if people take the shot and it, quote, works. Which again, leaves a lot of people kind of scratching their head. Why do it then? It's also important to note that a lot of the long-term trials around this shot have not been done. A lot of this has been rushed. A lot of this is still experimental, and we don't know the long-term effects of this. As even the Food and Drug Administration is telling a lot of the big pharma industrial complex companies that they don't have to conduct lengthy clinical trials to evaluate the effectiveness, which, let's be honest here, is concerning to a lot of individuals. Since, of course, the FDA is getting rid of large, randomized, controlled trials that are important as they compare placebos, effectiveness, safety of this shot, and they're not going to have to do any of it. Without question, Israel is, of course, moving headstrong in a direction that, of course, a lot of people are having concerns about, as they announced that millions of people have gotten the shot, and only them are given a, quote, green pass that lets them visit gyms, bars, hotels, and restaurants, which of course leaves a lot of people who decided not to take the shot not able to visit those particular gyms, bars, hotels, and restaurants. But what's the point when, even according to the UK government, this won't, quote, eliminate the risk of the sickness, and the same UK government that warned pregnant women and children not to take the shot? What are going to be the choices that pregnant women and children have in Israel right now? Well, that's a concern that many people have, and I believe that concern is justified according to my own personal opinion. As of course, even with the shot, there's still mandatory mask wearing and social distancing, which is showing you that life is not really going back to normal, as of course many governments promised it would after this shot, even though the numbers are going dramatically down, which many experts say is not even because of the shot. So yeah, lots to unravel there, to say the least, as of course other media organizations are talking about that the devil has, quote, arrived, new variants popping up that will even be resistant towards the shot. And as we said on this independent media organization, if you're hoping that everything would go back to normal because of the shot, you are absolutely fooling yourself. And that definitely seems to be the case as governments become less accountable and more triumphant in their mistakes, omissions, and sometimes absolute lies that they tell to their public. If they didn't, more people would actually trust them. But that's pretty much asking for essentially unicorns, politicians who don't lie. But hey, because they do, we're in business calling them out, so far still somehow existent on this platform, which we have to keep reminding people to sign up on our email list, since of course I'm getting many notifications of people actually being unsubscribed from this channel when they didn't unsubscribe from it. So the best way to make sure that you're not blacklisted or taken off or just made sure you don't follow certain individuals is, of course, to sign up on our free email list. wearechange.org, top right-hand corner right here. The link is down in the description below. Click on it right now, put it in your email, sign up, and keep us and yourself resilient. And we are as resilient as we are, mainly because of you. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys literally sharing and getting this video out there. The algorithms don't really like us, but you do. And that's why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.